Felix here, and Nvidia smashed it out of the park. It is now a $2.5 trillion stock, but it doesn't look so rosy for the rest of the market. And I want you to understand what that means. I want you to understand what the risk is here, how you can make money, how you can protect your money. So let this old banker here walk you through it. I know I'm backlit, but it's kind of the only way I can do it right here. I'm in London at the moment. So 10% higher for Nvidia, obviously very, very impressive, and it's now the first $2.5 trillion AI company out there. I think there might be more to follow. And overall, US stocks declined about a percentage point. So US stocks lost $500 billion in value yesterday, while Nvidia went up 230 billion. What does that mean? Everyone hates everything else when everyone loves Nvidia. Well, money actually left the building because of economic data that makes us a little bit more concerned and worried. And the bears are out and saying, oh my God, it's all going to collapse, panic. It's not quite that bad, but the PMI basically surged to 2-year high. And that shows that this government is glorious and they're amazing. They've got everything under control. But in all seriousness, it's implying that the Fed may not be able to cut as soon as we'd like them to, and that therefore is a significant risk to this rally. Now, small caps basically got hit the hardest. Why? They are most affected by interest rates. At some point, small caps will bounce, but you do need patience for that small cap trade there. Boeing also basically crashed and burned yesterday, actually making the Dow Jones index fall by a whole percentage point. Just Boeing. That's how much Boeing went down yesterday. And so, yeah, we got, Magnificent Seven. They basically went up because of Nvidia, and then by the end of the day, they'd given it all up again. So there is a lot of concern in here. Bitcoin hit 70K and then dumped, but Ethereum, on the other hand, held onto its gains. Why? More on that just in a second. But overall, it doesn't look like a very sort of, we're definitely going to have interest rates come down, right? Because if the economy is too strong, the Fed can't really be seen to cut interest rates because they're worried that inflation is going to come back up, because with a strong economy, interest rates go back up. Now, my view on the economy is that it's a lot weaker than the government would like us to believe, and I think that'll become clear after November, will be what we'll see. But let's just touch upon the SEC's Ethereum job here, because the SEC has just approved the first spot Ether ETF, which is huge, and well, Gary Gensler probably isn't very happy about that. And what that means is that, well, Ethereum is going to go through the roof just the way Bitcoin has, because institutional money is now going to flow in, plus a lot of your and my money possibly. Now, I think it's too late. I think it was pretty obvious Ethereum was going to happen. And if you thought it was going to happen, probably should have done that trade 3 or 6 months ago. I know it's not helpful right now, but still, a lot of money will flow into this because it's hard to buy Ethereum, right? You need an account with Coinbase, you need to get registered, you need to send money in, you need to convert it, and then you have to have it in some sort of digital wallet or cold storage or freezer or fridge or who knows, right? It's all very, very complicated for most people out there. So the way that crypto is currently being traded excludes probably 95 to 99% of people who might want to get in on it. They're just not technically able to handle that. I mean, I've literally got a cold wallet in the original box in a drawer. It's been there for 3 years. Why? I read the instructions and I thought, let's go to the beach. It just sounded horrific. So most people will feel that way, and then I think I'm a reasonably technically minded person. But yeah, Ethereum is going to be the next one. I actually personally prefer Ethereum to Bitcoin. I think there are more use cases in there, and I'm sure some of you kryptonites can educate me more on that. But just because I see in the banking sector it being used, I see large banks using it, and I can therefore see the value in it. It's not just sort of a currency type thing, but it's actually something that people are using. So I quite like that. Now, let's look at some numbers here. Let's look at some charts. So the hedge funds are basically the longest they've ever been to semiconductors. So the greatest exposure ever to semiconductors in 14 years. Maybe not ever, but in 14 years. And that means, of course, The risk is to the downside, right? Like you don't want to be chasing stuff after everybody else has chased it. You kind of want to look at, okay, everyone's chased it now. Let me see what my risk policy is here. And that's definitely something I'd look at. And I mentioned a few days ago, I was thinking of maybe doing a VIX trade that would be long VIX. And I wouldn't buy the VIX, I'd set up some sort of options trade on it. And if you want to know the kind of thing we do with that, then well, I'm running a live trading session on Tuesday. Come and join me and I'll teach you everything I do, the exact strategy, how it's beginner friendly, how we do it in a few hours a week, how it's automated. Just head over to felixfriends.org/training and grab yourself a seat, felixfriends.org/training. Links also down below. But computers right now, right? They bought about 22 billion of stocks in the last week. And probably they'll keep doing nothing or keep buying a little bit. But if the market were to tank, then they would be selling about 80 billion. So that's pretty significant downside risk. Again, I actually don't think it's going to happen. I actually feel quite bullish on the whole market overall. But if you just think, if your portfolio goes down 20%, you need to make another 25% to go back up. If it goes down 50%, you need to double it. You need to go up 100%. If it goes down 60%, you need to go up 150%. So the most important thing as an investor, especially as a trader, is risk management. And right now, risk management is as cheap as chips. Now, you might not know how to do that. Well, come and join me on Tuesday. I'll walk you through it. But overall, the moments when everyone's exuberant, when everyone's excited, and it is exciting, that's the moment when you want to think about your risk the most, because that's what the smart money is doing. That's what the smart traders are doing. That's what the guys are doing who'll be compounding their wealth over decades and generations, compared to the guy, what was he, the Dogecoin billionaire, right? Made $1 million, didn't sell, didn't do any risk management, no hedging. And then he went back down to, 50K, right? That's not what you want to be doing with yourself. You want to be the responsible guy. You want to be the compounding guy. And you do that, you're going to really, really enjoy the financial markets, as I am. I'm absolutely loving it. Now, I'm spending the day with my partner on Options Watch, and we are going to make this the best app ever out there, so that you have all the data and all the indicators and all the alerts and all the insight into smart money that anybody could ever have. So go and grab yourself a free trial if you haven't already. And I'll see you on Tuesday. I'll be back in a different location on Tuesday. felixfriends.org/training. I love you for tuning in. Enjoy the day. This is a company that I'm so excited about, that I like so much, yet it's such a underrated business. People don't talk about it. It's not Nvidia. It's not something super sexy, but there is something to this. What do they do? Look, every piece of electronics that you own basically uses